Hello DP community, and welcome back to October's coverage of the 2013 Alien² project. My plan in part 2 is to walk you through 2 reconstructive changes. Later this month, in part 3, we can look at some of the micro-editing and then wrap with a broad discussion of my ending strategy so as not to spoil the new ending for my patrons. Today, we're focusing on 2 substantial reconstructions, but this belies the scope of the project. As I'm about to show you, it's just not practical for me to walk you through everything. This is the Alien² production timeline. Every line that you see is an edit point, a departure from the studio original. Each line indicates that footage was deleted, moved, or newly inserted. As you can see, Alien² was a significant reconstructive project comprising nearly 50 edit points. One of the first scenes I tackled was the dream fake. Recall that Ripley's first nightmare episode was a delayed reveal intended to fool the audience. The execution was a bit awkward, partly because the effects weren't that good, but also because Burke is in the scene. I absolutely hated Paul Reiser in this film. He was not a big screen actor, and it shows in nearly every scene he's in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, start paying attention to all the times he touches his nose, scratches his head, or wanders his eyes. These are the marks of someone having difficulty holding themselves in front of the camera. Yes, I realize his character was supposed to be irritating, but it's doubly worse when the actor brings that to the screen with no acting required. Now, the nightmare itself is relevant and important. Remember, it's the recurring nightmares that help motivate Ripley to return to LV-426. In fact, it's after this second nightmare episode that Ripley understands that she's going to be an emotional wreck if she doesn't confront her fears. Thus, I couldn't simply cut the first instance. There are only 2 depicted in the movie. But I could fashion a brand new nightmare.
Bio readouts are all on the green. Looks like she's alive.
Where are the others?
They didn't survive.
Bad dreams again? You want something to help you sleep?
No. I've slept enough.
For those of you intimately familiar with this film, note also that the new dream device is advancing the storyline a bit differently in my sequel. It now bridges directly this opening rescue scene and the med lab recovery. The second topic of today's vlog is really a series of reconstructions that completely changed the flow of Act 1. I suppose we need some before and after references because many of you might not remember the movie in such detail. In the original Aliens, the story unfolds as follows. First, after the med lab scene, Ripley learns of her daughter and how much time has passed. Then, she is thrown under the bus by Wayland corporate execs during an investigation hearing. The story then moves to planet LV-426, the location of the Hadley's Hope terraforming operation. During this scene, senior personnel discuss one of the families who have just set off to explore a remote location. Lastly, we meet up with that family as they stumble upon the same derelict spacecraft from the first movie. The parents and son are killed. The daughter, Newt, survives. Now, keep in mind that this story progression is absolutely linear. There is no intercutting across these 4 scenes. In Alien² I removed the Ripley's daughter backstory, as it just wasn't important. Women are naturally inclined to form protective bonds with children, especially distressed children. So I don't know why James Cameron felt he needed to invent and introduce an extraneous narrative in his sequel. I suspect it was really about building a longer movie. This is how the remaining events play out in Alien² Notice all the edit points. The Inquisition scene now bookends the entire segment. Moreover, the roving family scene is itself split and now bookends the interior station scene. The real beauty of this reconstruction is that it created several juxtapositions where none existed in Aliens. The most impacting example is when Newt's family is being slaughtered while the Wayland execs are arrogantly dismissing Ripley's testimony.
Thank you, that will be all.
God damn it, that's not all. Because if one of those things gets down here, then that will be all. Then all this bullshit that you think is so important, you can just kiss all of that goodbye.
It is the finding of this Court of Inquiry that Warrant Officer E. Ripley, NOC 14472, has acted with questionable judgment and is unfit to hold an ICC license as a commercial flight officer.
Reconstructive editing also made it possible for me to elevate moments in the script.
Tell him, as far as I'm concerned, if he finds something, it is his.
Timmy, you've been gone a long time.
It'll be okay now. Dad knows what he's doing.
Alpha Kilo 2 Fernando calling Army Control. This is Alpha Kilo 2 Fernando.
If that's not a perfectly set up scene cut, I don't know what is. Remember, if you're enjoying the Yofei video series this year, please click the like button, subscribe, and set your notifications. These small gestures on your part are immensely important for the growth of the channel, which is slowly approaching 10,000 subs. Let's meet again later this month for part 3. Until then, this is Antimatter.